So it's a great pleasure and honor to welcome all of you who are joining us here today and over the next 3 days for this important, but what is also a very timely conversation. I also want to extend an even heartier welcome to those who are joining us virtually from different parts of the world. As I welcome you, I do this on behalf of the AKU leadership and on behalf of many others who have made this possible. It has been several meetings, mostly on Mondays, and a lot of back and forth with several partners that have made this possible. I take this opportunity to welcome you to the Aga Khan University and to the Graduate School of Media and Communications. And as I do that, I'd like to read a quote from our Chancellor, His Highness the Aga Khan, that was made at the groundbreaking ceremony of the Graduate School of Media and Communications almost a decade ago. And he said, the years immediately ahead will be a time of breathtaking change for Africa and for the field of media. I believe that Africa can emerge from this transformation as the home of the most capable, innovative, constructive, and respected media houses in the world. Helping advance that vision is what our Media and Communication School is all about. Now, that was said about a decade ago, and I think it is even more relevant to us today and as we gather for this conference. We are convening this conference at a time and project at a time that is important for us as a university. We just celebrated our inaugural Founders Day on March 16th last week. And this date also marks the kickoff of our 40th anniversary celebrations that will continue over the year. So this is going to be a great year across AKU. And as all you know, as you all know, life begins at 40. At 40, you pause, reflect, celebrate, and then you resume your daily rhythm. But most importantly, you also ask yourself what the rest of your life should look like. This is an opportune time for us to ask ourselves what journalism should be in the current dispensation. And it is my hope that over the next 3 days, we get a chance to pause, reflect, celebrate, but also ask ourselves what journalism should be in an era of immense environmental, social, political, and economic challenges at the local, regional, and the global arena. We're truly delighted to partner with WIT's Center for Journalism, FOYO, the Sustainable Journalism Partnership, and other colleagues to convene this meeting of minds that brings together several speakers and participants from different parts of the world. When this conversation started last year, soon after we hosted the Sustainable Journalism Symposium with Lars and other partners, we had no idea that this would be possible. And I really want to thank those who have walked this journey with us and made this possible. Allow me to set the stage for the conversations that we will be having over the next couple of days. My colleagues will do the same, but a few reflective aspects of our conversations should be guided by what I think are the following pointers. One, if you talk to any newsroom operative today or visited any newsroom, they're all concerned about how to sustain journalism from a content perspective so that this ever-fleeting audience can find some value in what is produced. Today, we do not only talk about news, we talk about content and content that should contribute to the revenues for media houses. A further sustainability expectation is that content should contribute to sustainable societies. What then is the role of journalism in that space? Secondly, business models that served journalism for the longest time have crashed, and media houses are having to adopt and innovate fast to find models that can sustain the business. This comes at a huge cost. In Kenya, we have seen jobs lost. Newsrooms have had to let go of some great talent, and those who have survived the purge are having to unlearn, learn, and relearn so that they're not swept away by the tide. Journalism cannot afford to be blind to the realities of the environment and climate change. It has a role to play in shaping public discourse about climate change and how to respond to it. That shaping power can usefully build public support to accelerate climate mitigation. This places a huge responsibility on media houses and on journalists. And some of the questions that we should be asking ourselves is whether we are adequately prepared to competently tell the environmental story and to give nature a voice. While the global media coverage of climate change related stories has almost doubled over the last 5 years, according to UN's Intergovernmental Panel of Experts on Climate Change, there has also been the propagation of misinformation with negative implications on the environment. So how do we counter that? How do we sustain the coverage of our environment so that these conversations become part of daily discourse alongside other critical issues? And how do we educate our citizens and empower them to be media literate so that they can not only detect misinformation, but also find ways in which they can verify the information that they receive from various platforms? Sustainable journalism must not only think about, but must also evidence inclusivity and diversity by being as diverse as their audiences are. Research continues to show that companies that are in the top quartile of gender diversity on executive teams are more likely to enjoy average profitability. It is profitable to have women not only in the shop floor, but also in media leadership and management. Including young people also brings even greater profitability. And having men and women of diverse ages in decision-making broadens perspectives, increases innovation and creativity, and this in turn contributes to profitability. I can tell you that as the Dean of the Graduate School of Media and Communications, the value in having a lot of young people in our space has increased innovation and creativity in very, very many ways. And it goes without saying that almost 70% of Africa's population is under the age of 30, making Africa the world's youngest continent. And this population today is nothing but passive, and we cannot purport to know everything that they want, let alone that which they want to consume. If we're going to be sustainable, we must be intentional about including them in all spheres. There is no sustainability if young people are left out and are not involved. Now, at the heart of the conversations that we will be having over the next 3 days is a place of research, education, and training on sustainable journalism and the connection between journalism and sustainability. And I couldn't be happier that this conference brings together professionals, policymakers, regulators, the civil society, educators, and researchers. That mix in itself makes for great deliberations. And I hope that beyond listening to the key speakers, we will actively contribute to the discussions and engage. This is our conference, and sustainable journalism is in our hands, all of us. And we have a great chance to contribute to what it might look like in practice. I thank you all, and I wish you all a great conference. And to our international colleagues, thank you for bringing great tidings. You brought us the rain. I hope you also find time in between the conference or after the conference to enjoy Nairobi and sample what it has to offer. Asanteni sana.